Why, hello, everybody. Greetings, and I mean greetings. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings. My name is Devin-Foxy Remastered today, and also, before we even get straight to the video here, by the way, is if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to give this one a like, comment, subscribe, the bell, be notified, and yes, today, by the way, we're going to be talking about why is Season 5 bad? We're going to be talking about season 5 that is terrible. When I say something's terrible, I'm going to talk about it sometimes because hey, I mean, again, that's what I'm always here for, is just to talk about something. If I don't like it, then that's what I'm going to say is like, just say my opinion and just say whatever I need to say about it. But if I say something good, then I'll maybe say something nice about something. But for now, we're going to be talking about season 5 of Total Drama All Stars. So the reason why I'm saying it sucks, okay? I mean, you don't have to say, oh, maybe I like the show of it. Guys, do you not know how much of it sucked? Which, I mean, I'm just making a point as it goes. But seriously, I'm just making a point. But seriously, listen. Season 5 was terrible, and we all know it's terrible because, like I said, Season 5 is just a complete waste of a shit show. But just wanted to let you guys know, oh yeah, Season 5, I can really call it a shit show because that's what I really like to be calling it. So, again, even if Season 5 were to actually like reapprove its own things exactly to rechange stuff, which I know it can't, but all I'm saying is that, seriously, have you guys not paid attention that Season 5 was just the worst of the worst? Like, if you think about it, Season 5 just had so many terrible things to be put in the show. It was very terrible. Which, I mean, I could really say that very much about the castmates. Seriously, about the recasting. Like, oh yeah, recasting would have been way much more better. Like, it would have been way much better to see a recast by seeing many other characters being recast. Besides when characters gotten tortured for a few times. Which, I mean, again, I don't blame Chris for nothing. Which I say is that, oh yeah, I would blame him during along a little bit of season 3 and 5. But all I'm saying is that 5, oh yeah, this is the part where I still hated Chris, by the way. My boy Duncan still hates him exactly, which, again, that's already been like what I'm saying. But to the only fact I was like saying is like, remember that season 5 is just going to be the last time. So remember, as I said again, there will be no more of Total Drama. So just let you guys know, for me, I'm only talking about me. Only talking about the stuff about it. I'm just going to like just say is like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of like move along with my day and just like get something done with my mind because I just had something in mind that I want to do something with my time. Just to say is that, oh, how season 5 is bad and how season 5 is the worst, which that's what I'm always going to say. But anyway, just remember that no, I will not be talking about number 6, even if it will be mentioned. Still, I'm not talking about it, and I will say is like no comment or no question because I'm not going to say anything out of it. So just remember, I'm not going to say it because at this very only point is that people would say is like says, oh, why don't you want to be talking about those? Well, listen, just because I'm saying that I don't want to talk about those doesn't mean I have to be the only one that's going to have to be like to say is like, oh, I'm going to be a guy who's going to talk about all that other stuff. The answer is no. So just remember, when I say the words no, it means no. So just remember, it will mean no means no. I will not be talking about its season of 6 or the spinoff or even another season of a reboot. So just remember, those three or even another spinoff again are still completely justifiably no. But as I said again, oh yeah, I have to say about like pretty much just about like the small version of Duncan. Oh, I'm okay with that. But all I'm saying is like other stuff is just hold it right there. I'm not gonna do that, and that's a big final no. So remember, my decision's final, and mine has been chosen. So just remember, do not keep forcing me to says, oh, you're gonna be talking about season 6 of like whatever the island is, and you gotta be talking about the race, and you gotta be talking about like about the redunculous race or something, or maybe talk about like the reboot of it. No and no, okay? Still means no. So remember, it's a big no. It's a crystal no, not person. Just saying a thing. So just remember, that's a big no, and that will be guaranteed no. So anyway, just want to let you guys know that it's understandable. So again, let's just get to the point of me saying about like season 5. Like we're going to be talking about the guessing of season 5, only mounted through its only time, but not only its episodes, but I'm only going to guess. For however the reason is, and oh yeah, trust me when I say when I figure it out, then I figure it out. So anyway, let's get to the point of me talking about explain about how season 5 was terrible, the worst season that was ever there. So just remember, I'm going to be talking about it. Like, it doesn't have to be your opinion by saying is like, oh, we still like the season. But to me, I'm saying is, hold up, buddy. That's a no, thank you. That's an absolute no, thank you. So let's get to the point of why do I hate season 5. So with that being said, let's get to it and let's see what happens. And oh yeah, as in for one more thing about the teams, by the way, that Chris also had in mind on the teams, that yes, two teams are actually being related to says, oh, it's heroes versus villains. So yeah, I think that's why he mentioned about naming about that kind of thing by saying it's heroes versus villains. And oh yeah, I'm on the villains team. That is pretty much my boy Duncan. So I gotta say again, it rocks of being a villain because hey, I mean villains actually kind of suit whatever I just like to say is that kind of I think it's kind of a bit more suiting. But as I say again, let's get to the point of me why that I do hate season 5, and more likely the eliminations would have rather been more fixed as it would have been gone. I mean, imagine if more things would have been rechanged, but no, it didn't have to be. So just remember, it's only me talking, and that's it, and that's final. So remember, let's get to the point of it. So anyway, the first elimination is Lindsay, and also let's get to it in 3, 2, 1, start. All right, so the first elimination that is pretty much the team heroes that lost to team villains this time. So this time I'm gonna say is that well, here it is, everybody. Lindsay, the girl that was from season 1, 2, and 3. Which I mean, congratulations that she was pretty much around for all these other times. Which I mean, yeah, that's actually more suitable. As I actually think it was kind of bit okay to the point of it. But again, I don't see why that Lindsay ever wanted to return back in season 5. I mean. Yeah, I mean, we all know that Lindsay is pretty much like, the dum dum. I'm not trying to say something rude to Lindsay, but I'm just saying is that was a part of Diffin's character. But I'm just saying is like I don't have anything to hate Lindsay in season 5. I mean, again, Lindsay was the one to hate me, known as to be Duncan in season 2, which I mean, yeah, a big, strong critical hit against me, but at least I was safe. Only just a bit be in season 2, but hey, I mean, at least I don't blame season 2 anyway, but just remember about the alternatives, about the real winner versus alternative winner, so that's all I can appreciate about by saying alternatives, but that's just all I'm saying. Now, for the only reason why I hate about this one elimination about Team Heroes is because, well, again, I don't know why Lindsay ever deserved to leave anyway, but I think she was more of an easier target begin with to say that she was more of an easier target. So the reason why I say that Lindsay's an easier target is because, well, she was the one who got pretty much bashed anyway by getting bashed by no reason by the heroes to lose again, which I do say again to this very point is just like, really? I mean, really? I mean, couldn't anybody literally just vote out pretty much either Cameron at this point? I mean, I don't know if anything would have been that's possible, but I just say is like Lindsay was supposed to be the only one who was supposed to kind of win that season of number 5, which I know she's the only easier one to get eliminated at this point, which I know that she was easier to get eliminated, but yeah, kind of a little dumb on my part of that. So it's kind of a bit stupid that she only took that fall for the idea, which, I mean, the only thing I find so weird why is that she crossed an X on her face is that, like, really? Lindsay, come on. It's supposed to be an elimination. Did Chris not told you that? I mean, sorry if I have to say it's like, oh, Chris probably might be right on the only part again, but yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it barely is what it is. Like Lindsay was supposed to say is, "Oh yeah, I get it." Which I mean, she was supposed to kind of get it on the elimination part of it, but still, come on, man. I mean, seriously, Lindsay, could you really find something more differently than that? So that's the only part I'd say that I hate about like the first elimination due to the fact that Lindsay was eliminated. But the only thing I'd say that two options were almost closer by saying is like either keeping Courtney in or keeping Lindsay in. So the only thing I would say is that, yeah, it's kind of a bit of a hard decision whenever you think about it. I mean, literally the only thing I'm saying is that Courtney deserves to kind of stay in the season of it. So, yeah. So, again, Lindsay, she's already out. She's already done. But, that's the only thing why I hate about Lindsay, just to say is why do I hate about Lindsay? But, I'm just saying that Lindsay was kind of an okayish character from 1, but not from 2. I think two was more a bit of like a battery, or for no reason to like battle out me against, because I was pretty much getting canoed, I guess, getting like canoe of a cadet or something like that. I think it was only like a canoe of a strong suit or something, which I don't know, but that was pretty bit different back then in season two. But in three, oh, she was kind of fine in season three as on her own, exactly along with DJ, but not sure as I would actually say if I find it okay-ish, but yeah, Lindsay might be an okayish person, but in season one, but yeah, season one, I'll still take it that Lindsay's season one of her season one is alright. It has an okay opinion, but season five's Lindsay, yeah, she kind of goes home to go back with Tyler. I mean, come on, you got a boyfriend to make out, Lindsay. So anyway, that's all I have to say. That there was like a few reasons of me liking versus disliking, so that's all I have to say at the point of it. But anyway, next contestant from pretty much the villains team. So let's get right into the villains team. All right. So anyway, do I really have to pretty much talk about the character already? All right, fine. So, Lightning, huh? Well, Lightning. I gotta say about Lightning. I think that Lightning was an okayish character, from the villain side of the team. But, I gotta say that Lightning was season four's winner after all, since Lightning was actually pretty cool and all. Which I do say is I do say that Lightning had some bit of like disapprove versus approve, which I do say to me my own standards that Season five's Lightning was kind of like F tier trash, because the reason why that he kept being trash was because like, oh, he's making out with his muscles. Yeah, not on the best part of T, bruh. Not the best part of the thing that you can't do in football. I mean, one little lesson is that you can't do it too much, or you might lose your whole game. Which I mean, again, sometimes I already know about different kind of amount of sports and a different amount of like reasons, but the only thing I'm saying about Lightning is just like, come on, man, get in the challenge, brother. I mean, get in the challenge. I mean, if you would have not done so, you would have literally voted off like I don't know. I'm just really gonna make a guess who you can actually vote off against if it was Lightning's choice of him to vote off. I guess. I mean, he would have kind of voted off with Scott. I don't know. I think he would have voted off Scott, which I think that's what I would say. But if it's not like I would say that, it's just that if Lightning would vote off Scott, that would have been a different okayish way. But again, I think considering the fact that yeah, he was already voted by Joe. I'm just saying the girl's name, just J-O, but for now, I'm just gonna have to say is like, come on, Lightning. If you would have literally done something by now, you would have literally won by your own team. Which, seriously, that's just like, come on, man. Get your head in the game and get your whole entire body to your own team and try to win for once. I mean, if you would have not lost Lightning, you would have seriously would have been gone home already. Which, I mean, no shock to be Sherlock to be Sherlocked, but no surprise out of that one, huh? So, I guess I'd say Lightning's just a bad character and season five's choice, but season four's was kind of interesting, but to say at the least, Lightning could have done something anyway to win again, but nope, he's just bye bye. He's just bye bye and bye bye. So, anyway, that's all I have to say is that Lightning was just a bye bye. So, anyway, yeah. I just have nothing else to say against Lightning anyway, because I know the fact that he was kind of an alright person. I mean, hey, it's just not like if I don't actually decide to say as if I would have picked Lightning to be an okay person to begin with. Like I said again, Lightning, oh yeah, he's more like a good bodyguard, and to be my opinion, he's kind of like a good bodyguard. If I were to say if he was more impressive. I think Lightning would have been way more better than Scott, because we know that he's afraid of a shark named Thane. I mean, seriously, a Thane of a shark? Seriously? The shark that has two legs and two arms anyway. Like, come on, man. Seriously? Since when can a guy get afraid of a shark that is actually a mutant shark? Which I'm not surprised. Barely am not. So, anyway, that's all I have to say about Lightning was that he could have still stayed on and lived on to continue, but nope. It was just bye bye and game over. So, anyway, that's all I have to say is that, yep, Lightning was done and he's out of the game. So, yep, that's Lightning for everybody. That's Lightning. All right, the next person is Joe. So, anyway, before we even get on with Joe, by the way, is that, well, for me, I'm going to just explain why. Really? Why? Really, Joe? Why? So, the only thing I'm going to say the word why, by the way, is because, well, I'm just saying, by the way, is that, well, for the reason of Joe, by the way, that she was also going to get booed to the can, by the way, was that, well, it was only just about like one, two, three, four, five, six. Well, it was actually at least six of us villains left on the villain vultures team for only six, which I actually barely am surprised out of six, so gotta say, very shockingly surprised. For however, there's like only six of those villains left. So I do say whoever am I gonna actually count by the way to say is like who do I kind of hate more likely to say is it's pretty much like Miss Bossy Pants of Queen of Mean versus the one who was pretty much doing pretty well, kind of okayish in season 4 pick. Well, the only thing I would say who I would vote off against is just Heather because yeah, I really don't even care about Heather because like come on, you serious? Like come on, are you serious right now? Like you don't get to tell me how Heather is pretty much the only one who still gets to be in that same place that should have been gone way off the beginning. Which I mean, not technically from the beginning, but just only from a similar number that she could have really been spotted on for that number, but that's fine. I mean, that's fine either way. So I guess most of the people say that Joe was the one who gets to go home. Because I mean, due to the fact that she was also going to go home anyway, but yeah, not the best kind of only choice for Joe to be the only one to be Gonzo. So, oof. Big Gonzo right there. I mean, what a big Gonzo. But anyways, that's all I have to say is pretty much that she would have never not been eliminated. The only one who would have been eliminated was just pretty much Heather. But I mean, learn or take. I mean, just learn or take, just to see what happens. Just to say as learn or take. But anyway, to this very point again, everyone is that yep, Joe on the other hand was either pretty much either doing pretty okay on the villains team or pretty much again yet again to lose. But yeah, so that's all I have to say was that yep, Joe was the only one to still continue the game, but for that matter, she was already gone. So that's just all I have to say for Joe. So anyway, yep, I have to say a few likes versus dislikes was that like one. What did I liked about Joe? Well, the reason why I picked one for Joe was that why did I like her exactly was that, well, I think she was kind of more a bit of in charge, which I can say that I can relate to say as, that's fine, that's completely acceptable. I mean, if she was learned the charge, then she must be learning to walk the talk. Which I mean, I can say that from her for Brick exactly from season 4. I mean, didn't that kind of got in a good show? I mean, didn't that kind of got a good show? Which I kind of think that was kind of been acceptable. I kind of preferred like picking Joe versus. I mean, I would prefer to have Joe X Brick at this point. I don't know. I think it's either kind of consider either with the military man or just with the football guy. I don't know, but it kind of depends on however that the whole thing that was a new triangle or something. But that's cool. That's just technically fair. It's just fair game. So anyway, I think Joe was already out, but let's get to the next contestant. So. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, the next contestant is from Team Heroes, that is Sam. Which, alternatively, the villains have lost the challenge, but wait a second. It was more like a re-loop. So the only thing I'm going to say was like a re-loop is pretty much considering with Sam, on the other hand, was that the reason why that Sam was the only one to leave exactly is because he was the one who kind of cheated, because due to the fact that he didn't like to go to Boney Island exactly, because he said it was a terrible place, and of course that, well, again, I mean, who would have thought? I mean, who would have thought that he was going to go home anyway? Which, I mean, it was only him versus Sierra after when they were both going to get the marshmallow, which I was kind of considered a bit surprised. But the only shocking time I'd say is that why that I was on the heroes team because great. That's the only number one reason I hate being pretty much on season 5. My guy is Duncan, which seriously, I mean, why and why do I seriously have to be in pretty much with Team Heroes? Seriously? Again? Me and being heroes? Yeah, that's gonna be the stupidest thing I ever was on. Like, seriously, I hate being on the heroes team. I was before preferred to be more of a villain. I mean, me and Courtney had to swap teams. Oh, wow. Thanks again, Chris. No, really. Thank you. So, really, yeah, I have to say is that I never liked being on the heroes, which I will pretty much technically explain that a little bit more further later. After when I say after all the other castmates are being talked already by saying is liked versus disliked exactly. So let's get back to the point of the whole thing with this. So yeah, so the only thing I have to say is who do I think who was deserving to go home was either Sam or Sierra? Well, here's technically a few reasons. One, if Sam were to go home, yes, he would have technically would have gone home and would have technically would have cheated because due to the fact that he was stealing a bit of pancakes for a little bit before he had to get some food, due to the fact that he didn't like to go to Boney Island. If he were to go to Boney Island, that was the only shocker point of it, but that's what I might say. And then, oh, Sierra? Well, if Sierra was also been picked and chosen, she would have left, and she would have not caused any more crazy from the Heroes team either. Which, I mean, for me, yeah, not kind of best, only stronger ways by convincing myself by either saying is like, the gamer gets to go home, or the annoying girl of Cody Stalker to go home, which that's the only thing I would have been convinced anyway, but whoever I would have voted off was against, yeah, I'd say Sierra. I would have voted off Sierra. I mean, no other choice but saying Sierra would have rather been going home, because the reason why I would have voted her out of here, because the reason about that was because, well, yeah, I say that she was more likely a Cody person, which yuck. Trust me, it's just a bunch of world of nasty. So yuck, yuck, disgusting. So anyway, that's all I have to say. But that's all I have to say. Now, anyway, so yes, Sam was voted off. Technically, period and final. That yes, Sam was voted off because he was voted off because due to the fact that he was trying to take a few of the pancakes for a few of the chunks before if he were to go to Boney Island, which that's another completely shocker. So another shocker goes down to the sand. So anyway, yeah, that's without pretty much that being said with Sam. That yeah, he was technically eliminated, known to be the gamer that gets to go home anyway. So let's get to the next contestant. So here is the next contestant, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the next contestant we're going to be explaining about. So the only thing we're going to be explaining about here, by the way, is about about with Team Villains. Yeah, I think I have to say Team Villains lost to the dust again, so I have to say Villains had totally lost. Which, I mean, this time I have to say, but this time Heather. Yeah, we all know what Heather's been doing for all these other times. Because of her, by the way, Heather's the only reason why that she was the only person that pretty much be hated anyway, including myself. Which, oh yeah, I so hated Heather, right? Trust me. I mean, do I even trust a snake? No, I don't. But as I said again, I'm my own person. Like I said, I myself as Duncan. I'm my own person. Because I said before that, in this other episode, that technically was so sad of a shocker that I never liked that episode. Trust me, the moon effect? Really? Who goes from a moon effect whenever something actually comes to kindness or even expects something reversal? Like, let's just say the sun's mean and then the moon's nice. I mean, how does any of that make any sense? Which, I mean, I'd never seen Heather being on her good side, which, I mean, come on, seriously? Like, I have no other words to say, but no comment. I mean, best to say, no comment. I would rather consider being with the others by the way of season one's other people, at this very point of the season one campers, other than seeing Heather being on her good side at least. But I'm saying it's like, wow, that I have to say actually admits to say is that that's pretty a bit differently. So, about me hating that episode of this one, of me talking about like Heather's elimination, is that no, I am not talking about that I hate the elimination. I was only talking about the episode itself exactly. The only thing I only hated about was exactly was that Gwen was trying to say was like, yeah, she said is that we were done. Pretty much just with me and with just me only myself as Duncan, and then of course with Gwen, yeah, pretty much breaking up anyway. Which I mean, technically, I only hated that part, so that kind of sucks because seriously, I really hated that episode. I mean, seriously, I was just getting a good time until season 5. Oh, yeah, that changed my opinion anyway, changed my mind, changed my whole disrespective against season 5's absolute worst, completely nonsense, whatever it is, of trash. Yes. So anyway, that's all I have to say is that pretty much with Courtney and Gwen, oh yeah, they pretty much just like backstabbed me anyway. But all I have to say is that at least I'm my own person anyway. But yeah, I mean, I say was like, what's her problem? Like I was saying was like, what's Gwen's problem anyway? What's her problem? Like seriously, that's what I've said. Is that I like saying was like, what's her problem? But technically, what reason it was is that, well, I could have considered to say is that Heather was gone, which please, thank you. I mean, thank you for having Heather gone, which I mean, seriously, do I even have any regards and respect of Heather? No, I don't. I mean, she was literally the one who pulled my hair in the ice, remember? I mean, in season 3, which I don't know if some people might have to recap that again, but all I'm saying is like, come on. Heather was literally pulling my freaking hair to forget some warmth. I mean, seriously, no thank you. I want to keep it to myself anyway, but yeah, I was literally going to go through hell exactly. Like, seriously, this is a good reason why I say this before is that, oh, I've been gone through to hell and hell. Because, seriously, whenever I say something sucks, it sucks horribly. It sucks. So anyway, yeah. So the good reason is Heather's gone, which I don't care if either Heather or Alejandro kind of start beefing up with each other. I mean, I prefer to be a third person voter, a third person siding. By saying is I would rather not say anything, just not even care. Which I don't even prefer to even say which one's who and who. I mean, as long as Heather or Alejandro are gone, thank you. That's all I would rather say. But like I said, I was more in cahoots with Alejandro better than Heather at this point, which I know that he's still a snake, which I can still agree to. But seriously, that's all I'm going to say is just like, boo. So anyway, Heather was definitely eliminated of Team Villains, and she was also gone for the sake of being gone, so that's another reward that deserves itself for a cookie. Now, the next contestant I'm going to be explaining about who the next one is, Sierra, which, oh yeah, trust me, this has its reward, its own treat. Of saying is that Sierra is another big problem, another huge gap. So anyway, let's get to the next part, shall we? Alright, so me questioning about Sierra. Okay, so me questioning about Sierra, I'm gonna say is that, well, she was only technically on the heroes team this time, but turns out, by the way, that the only person that only deserved to pretty much go home exactly was that, yeah, I think I have to say is that Sierra was the one to go home. And then, as in for that stupid next other thing, I'm also gonna say is that, yeah, I think Cameron was traded to be to the villains team, which yeah, I don't even care either if he's hero or villain, but again, it just very doesn't even matter before I even still talk about that guy again. But not even if I have to get closer to another number that's even closer to B, so yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Sierra. Okay, what could have been so much more differently about Sierra was just like saying is like, man, can she ever stop saying the word Cody every time? Seriously, she's literally going on by saying Cody, 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 Cody. Man, who wants to go by hearing a word saying that every time by repeats of saying Cody, 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 Cody? What? That just barely even lost my own brain cells to know why that she would even say that. So, anyway, about Sierra, like, okay, so the one reason why I hate about Sierra was just because, well, she was kind of more likely in a different basic amount of annoyance, by the way. She literally kept annoying the heck out of Cameron, which I think it was kind of worth something a bit less funny, but I just say again is like, yeah, can you guys at least argue it somewhere else? I mean, technically, I had no other choice but just to be my own man exactly and just like do whatever to be on the heroes team to just like keep on surviving and surviving before I don't get the kick out of anyway. But yeah, that's all I have to say is what it was rewarded anyway to say so. But yeah, and the only one interesting thing I like saying, I like hearing by my own voice, by me hearing from Duncan, by the way, he said was like, keep on with the Duncan X Gwen ships. And then that was kind of like the funniest thing I ever laughed. That was kind of the best liner I ever said, by the way. By saying it's like, keep on with those Duncan X Gwen vlogs. Which, I mean, seriously, I mean, I don't have anything to hate about either. Pretty much, both ship anyway, by Duncan X Courtney or Duncan X Gwen, which I don't technically hate it anyway, which I think that's pretty bit of an okay shipping anyway. But as in for pretty much Sierra, oh yeah, I'd say something less nicer to say something at less, but I mean, seriously, Gwen, I mean, come on, what's the attitude about? I think whenever she was mad at me, I have no idea why, but seriously, just have no idea. But anyway, all I gotta say is hopefully you guys are still enjoying the rest of these other talks, by the way, about me explaining about the likes versus dislikes upon the characters exactly of its own cast, by the way. But oh yeah, after when Sirius is pretty much is finished, then it'll probably get to me exactly. So yeah, me. Which, oh yeah, I'm going to start pretty much not liking how I'm going to get eliminated anyway, but let's just move on to the basic matters at hand we already got here. So let's move to the basic what we have at hand, by the way. So the only thing what we have in hand, by the way, is that pretty much when Sierra was the only person to be eliminated, yeah, she was so kind of bit of annoying to consider going with same as Cameron. I think she was still so obsessive. The way I'd say is that, I'm kind of been obsessive too, as myself as Duncan. Pretty much considered to be obsessive with Courtney and Gwen, but I don't judge. Hey, why don't try something new just to enjoy something very at least niceful, I guess. Very nice. But anyway, so yeah, Sierra is the only person who was out, so I don't know if I can say something nice about that one, but yeah, Sierra kind of deserves to leave anyway. But even if I said something nice that she even went to the toilet or somehow, I'm talking about the flush of shame thing. Whenever most people say is it's like season five's new thing, like getting flushed down to the toilet by the flush of shame, which I think that was kind of a bit of another good genius somehow. But I don't blame the idea of it. But it could have been more something more inventive, a little bit more diabolical and interesting or something. So, anyway, that's all I have to say about Sierra was that one, she was only fine until she wasn't still obsessed with the word Cody or even Cameron, but yeah, she just really needs some help. Really needs to get her head in checked. So, without mostly with that being said, is that there you go. Sierra was the next person to be eliminated. So, yeah, so anyway, let's get on to the next two is my boy Duncan's elimination because, oh, trust me, I'm not going to like this one either bit. Even if I might have to make a huge bit less explainable or just make a bit more explainable, but yeah, no. We'll see. But anyway, let's get to that elimination anyway, so let's pop right into it. Well, I guess I have to say is that, well, I'm going to just explain it like heck because I might explain just like heck anyway for this once. Uh, my elimination is just not pretty. Seriously, not pretty. Because the reason why I'm saying this, by the way, is that why is my episode, or should I say, my elimination wasn't that good? Because one, I was trying to prove to the people that I was trying to prove to everyone that I am not a good guy. Like, seriously, like, come on. Like, I was getting made fun of by Chris. Like, seriously, Chris is the one who should have been shamed about that. Like, he was the one who was supposed to be shamed about that. But I don't know how I got mine absurd, but all I have to say is like, come on now, like, bruh, that wasn't even funny. Like, seriously, dude, like, I was the only one who was getting laughed at. Like, seriously, like the only people who were just left right already was just like the only ones who were left exactly was just Alejandro, Sierra, Alejandro, Zoe's Mike, and Scott and Cameron, Courtney, and Gwen and me, like, we were the only ones who were left before the merger was happening. Like, seriously, like, the merger, yeah, that already had happened with that merger or something. It already did happen with the merge. So, all I have to say is at least I've always been lucky for pretty much surviving like any other merger, by the way, from any other technically by any reason, but I'm just the only person who was surprised that I was the only one to get eliminated at this point because me, oh, why did I get eliminated? It was because, well, one, I don't never blamed myself on this episode. I've never really blamed myself, but all I have to say is that I do kind of hated myself before that Chris was even doing so. Like, seriously, like, Chris, like, come on. Do you really have to keep on insulting me by saying, oh, it's Mr. Nice Guy over here, which no, I was technically not, which I was trying to avoid all of that before I did that. Like, seriously, of course I have truth in heart. What's the part not to hate about me having truth of heart or something? But at least it had to be said anyway, then it just had to be said on season 5 anyway, so still sucked. And still never changed my mind. But anyway, so here's what I have to say about my elimination was because due to one, in fact, that I blew up his yacht or blew up his mansion because, oh yeah, Chris deserved it anyway because he deserved it. Like, really? Like, the only thing I'm saying really on Chris was like, come on, you could have still kept me along before I was kicked out anyway, before I was like, I don't know, kind of kicked out before to the final seven, but to the final six. Like, bruh, I don't know why I was ever on the final seven or anyway. Like, hold on, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, I think I was kind of like only seven. Yeah, I think it was only seven. Chris could have literally put me on like six. Like, I was added into the final six or something, but nope. I had to be was pretty much either eighth or seventh. But anyway, so that's all I have to say is that why I hated my elimination was because I was the one who blew up Chris's mansion anyway, and of course he called me Mr. Boom Boom, which I didn't think it was ever that funny. Seriously, that's only when somebody calls like a monkey a Boom Boom anyway to wear a diaper, like an average monkey that wears something like pull-up straights. But that's all I can pretty much say, by the way. But whenever the police showed up exactly for no reason in the island, because of course I was going to go to prison anyway, because seriously, I did not even done anything before just blowing up Chris's yacht, or even blew up his mansion or whatever. But again, who even cares if Chris had a mansion or not? Which, seriously, again, really don't know why, but it's just so unquestionable to say. Like, really, it was just unquestionable because yeah, I was the one who was going to go to jail because, technically, even if I was eliminated, then yeah, it's just like, come on, man. I just did not deserve going to jail. But if it is what it is, technically, the journey of mine is just completely done. I mean, it's just done. My journey is just done over. It's just done. Which I don't know how the heck that's supposed to be refixed of anything, but still, it pretty much isn't. So anyway, that's all I have to tell you guys is that my elimination sucked even more, which it literally sucked. Which I would have still stayed into the final six, but nope, I had to be during in the seventh. So, that's the part why I hate pretty much being eliminated. So that's all I have to say. Anyway, let's get to the next elimination we have here is Cameron's elimination, which oh yeah, I'll talk about that a lot more. Trust me, I'll talk about that soon. So let's get right into this right now. So let's get right into that. All right, everybody. So here's another pointer about Cameron's elimination that I really am loving to say is thank you to get this guy gone. So anyway, the only thing I'm saying is that yeah, my justice was only served anyway because yeah, that sure didn't last long anyway because Cameron, he didn't last long for a quarter. Like he didn't last one for a quarter. Like seriously, I never even liked Cameron from the season 5 anyway, or nor season 4, which I'd say that he was kind of an okayish in 4, just before in the few other episodes, but really. So before I say anything about Cameron, it's just like only in season 5's Cameron. So I have to say is that well, yeah, it really was a complete of a waste of time. Like seriously. That episode was just a hell no for me again because why did I still hate season 5 is because of Cameron's season 5 character was because I've already hated him. Because you want to know why? Oh, he's been trying to be doing something to pretty much just like of course it has to be with Scott and Cameron. Like come on already. Like seriously. Ugh. Gross. I mean, gross. I mean, I hope to never watch that episode again because that really sickened me. That really sickened me on that episode because seriously, bruh. I mean, of course I saw the obsession with Scott and Courtney. I mean, that's disgusting. I mean, imagine if Scott was only trying to get with Courtney anyway, but seriously, I know that is going to be a complete waste of time with her and Scott, which I mean, oh, trust me, it's just going to fail really fast. When I say it's going to fail really fast, it's just going to be bye bye. And then, yep, definitely a big flop. Because when I say it's a flop, there's a big flop of a turd that is just disgusting that no one doesn't want to see. Disgusting. So, as I did say again, that yeah, Cameron deserved to be eliminated anyway because due to the lack of him being broken, of course, to be pretty much with his whole being him in a cast in a bubble, which that's already good. So yeah, it's just time for him to say bye bye because he deserved to go home. Because on this very technically of the point is that yeah, that episode disgusted me, disgusting of disgusting. Because that's why I proved to dislike only season 5, but it never was any better because it was just the worst out of worst. I mean, imagine if like someone was gonna cure somebody, but somebody still dies while not being cured. Like, how does any of that not get fixed anyway? But to the fact of it, season 5's Cameron is terrible, and he was already going to get going. So yeah, definitely eliminated, and bye bye. Anyway, next elimination is of course is Alejandro, which we're totally going to get right ahead into it. So let's get right ahead into it, shall we? Let's get right into it and see what happens. Alright, so anyway, before I could explain a little bit more, everybody, is that I definitely want to explain about Mao. So anyway, before I explain about Alejandro next, is that let me tell you about Mao. So anyway, before I heard something whenever he was whistling a few times, is that, oh yeah, I know that whistle. And oh yeah, I know about that laugh. Like seriously, whenever I heard about that laugh, oh yeah, Mao was a bad person. He's bad news. Like really bad news. Like he went to juvie. Like okay, so first off, I want to explain is that Mao is a bad person. He really is a bad person because all I considered knowing was that he, on the other hand, said that he's going to take everyone else down, including Alejandro anyway, but seriously, Mao is no good. Seriously, because the only thing I hate about Mao slash pretty much amount of Mike is because, well, I have to say he was bad news anyway, because all I knew was just minding my own business whenever I was looking around the island and just say it's like, what kind of torture does Chris have for us now this time? Which that's what I was going to do, but of course whenever I heard that laugh or that giggle or that whistle, oh yeah, I knew what was up. I knew what was up because I am not playing around, because whenever I saw Mal doing some stupid crap, still, he literally is the one to pretty much kick out almost anybody else exactly. Like, seriously, he's just no good. Like, Mal's no good. So anyway, let's explain about to Alejandro next. So let's get right back to him anyway. So for Alejandro, by the way, yeah. So the only dipper, by the way, of me explaining the dipper of me explaining about Alejandro exactly is that, well, let's just say that Alejandro was more likely the one to pretty much be eliminated. So at this very only point, by the way, is that yeah, Alejandro was already deserved to be hated anyway in season 3, but now to 5, yeah, he kind of was pretty much the only one to be to be the only bad person at this point. But seriously, I never trust about Mike or Alejandro about that. I never trust about Alejandro or Mike because, like I said, no thank you. I do not trust neither of them. But if I have to say that Alejandro had a good point of proof, oh yeah. Well, I have to say that I would rather side with Alejandro anyway in season 5. I'm just talking about like a bit of a side mission that I would rather side with him anyway, other than Mal, because trust me, oh, I know that whistle and I know that laugh anywhere. Even if, like I said, even if I have to regret by saying is if I would have chose Alejandro to pretty much be on sides with me, then that's technically fine. But like I said, yeah, points are lesser without any reason to pick. Because I mean, seriously, if I would have picked something, then if I would have to pick something. So anyway, that's technically me explaining to the point of saying is that, oh yeah, Alejandro, oh yes. And then for Mike or slash Mao, no. So anyway, yeah, I know it kind of sucks for him going home anyway, but as I said, Mal pretty much kind of deserved of going home anyway. I mean, Mal deserved to go home or slash Mike exactly, but yeah, the lies just continue. I mean, seriously, the lies of Mal always continues. And pretty much the lies always will continue. Because you want to know why? Because the entire season 5 is a complete waste of an entire waste of nonsense. Because season 5 is a huge pointless of time of wasteful, disgusting, most useless season 5 I had ever watched and seen the entire time. Because seriously, I knew that Alejandro or Mike, I mean, I knew that Alejandro or Scott were the ones that were not impressed. So, yeah, I don't know what's with these other people being like, I don't know, being addicted to says, oh, we're gonna see, we're gonna win the $1 million. Yeah, this whole point of the cast people are really, really pretty much not that good in season 5 anymore. Because seriously, season 5 is just not a good season anymore because it doesn't be good that anymore. Because the only seasons who were good pretty much more times of season 1 is that, yeah, season 1 was the best choice, and so is season 2. Even if I was the one that was going to get ratted anyway, to get ratted out anyway in season 2, which I didn't, which I technically survived winning that anyway. But anyway, so Alejandro was eliminated. He was done, and he was cooked by Mao slash Mike. He was cooked, and he was out of here. So yeah, Alejandro was definitely eliminated. So definitely eliminated. So I have no other choice but to say, but yeah, he was technically eliminated. So it makes him to be leaving off the island anyway. So yeah, I'm not no longer surprised. I'm just barely no longer surprised. So anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say is about me liking versus disliking of Alejandro, which sure, again, I'll say a few likings of Alejandro that he did pretty naturally okay on his only beat half of his own part exactly, to keep his side part of his own deal to go ahead and try to spy on Mao to see what he's really up to, like really up to. Which I mean, if I were to tell Alejandro about most of all of that, oh yeah, me and Alejandro would have been looking up onto Mao. Seriously, always would be keeping an eye on that creep, or pretty much knowing on that no good sucker, or pretty much that manipulator anyway. But as I said again, points not to be taken or points to be not rather being considerable, but all I'm saying is that no, I don't trust Alejandro or Mal for the last time. So just remember, when I say I don't trust them, it means I only have like a thing that has already been hated anyway. Because as I said, I don't hate most of other people of the show. I'm only talking about whenever some of them sucked in some are technical episodes. Yes. But at least I only told Zoey, by the way, that even if I didn't told you guys a few other times that whenever I had some other moments as Duncan, oh yeah, I so did told Zoey. Like, I mean, I don't know who to trust already, but since I was the only one to get kicked anyway to the curb, so yeah, I only had to say was that I had like pretty much convinced Zoey to know that Mal is bad news, like really bad news. But until more convincing gets more occupied, then yeah, more of it continues to be occupied. But at this very next point, let's get to the next elimination of Courtney. So anyway, let's get ahead into this. Let's do it. Let's get right on with it. So here we go. Well, well, well. And I mean, well, well, well. Courtney, Courtney, Courtney. What do we got here this time? Or should I say, yeah, how did that end up for you, Courtney? No, like, really, how did that end up for you? Which, I mean, at this very point, by the way, everybody, is that, well, again, yeah, Courtney deserved another bad spot. Really bad spot. So, anyway, as in for me explaining about this whole explanation here, is that, well, we are down to the pretty much like, what we're down this time? Oh, yeah, so that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the final five. Which, I mean, I am this considering, like, saying is like, nah, I'm not surprised. Like, brother, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, Courtney is just at least the most closest one to actually be this close to win like almost any other prize that would have been almost final 3 or 4 that would have been this necessarily. But really, Courtney, how would she even win? I mean, she hasn't won jack squat for almost any other time. I mean, best to say she didn't even win almost $500,000. Which, I mean, no surprise out of this one. So, again, so about this explanation about something a little more stupid and a far a little bit more up stupid again from Courtney is that, well, let's just say that she drew a rat tail from Scott. I mean, we know that Scott was a rat, and I knew I was kind of laughing at the point I said was like, damn, did she really do that? Damn, I was like kind of laughing to the point where Scott was a rat, which no way did she actually write him as a rat. Which, okay, that there I'd say is just kind of a little funnier, which I could expect him being a rat because, yeah, he deserves some amount of critical out of that one. He deserved a bit of some critical and more criticality at that point. So, yeah, kind of deserved that anyway. But really, the only thing I find so at least funny by saying is that she would rather give her own ice cream to his interns to literally just go out of their misery for food, for literally trying her ice cream. Like, yuck. I mean, no wonder why I prefer having my own ice cream sundae a bit more better because disgusting. Really, Courtney? Do you really seriously even have to just do so? Like, do you really have to give it to those interns? I mean, if you would have given those to those interns, you would have literally poisoned them to death. Like, no, I'm not kidding if that would have happened. I mean, that wouldn't have been funny. I mean, I'm okay with Chris's interns, but seriously, I mean, giving them for food, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm at least blaming Chris for one thing for about, like, the interns that didn't get any food, but seriously, come on, where's the food that you can't give those interns for those food? Really, I'm not that surprised anymore, but I'm just barely technically that surprised. So, as I did say, by the way, I kind of find it funny after when she was going to hurl, after when she was going to eat the ice cream anyway, but yeah, sorry, Courtney. You kind of deserved it coming. You really had it coming anyway. But I mean, if you didn't want to listen to me, that is pretty much Duncan, then you could have specifically listened. But nope, that is just a I mean, nah, 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 nah. That's just a no, no. So, anyway, that's the moral of the story there, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the moral of the story. But that's all I have to say. But I mean, technically, whoever's going to win to the final four is just like, not surprising. I mean, it's just not surprising as one less or anyway. But my vote, I have to say, goes to Zoey. I mean, I vote for Zoey. Because why would I pick Zoey? Because, well, one reason why I would prefer having Zoey to win is because at this very point, I'd say that Zoey deserves to be the winner because, yeah, I mean, she technically deserves to be the winner and all that because, I was the one who told her about, like, Mao, because Mao is just, like I said, one more time, Mao is just bad news. Seriously, he's no play to be a tool with. He's just no tool to be a chew toy. So, anyway, that's all I have to explain about pretty much about Courtney. Even if I kept still talking about Mao, still, he deserved to be the one to be game tossed. But anyway, for now, Courtney is out of here. She's done, eliminated, and bye bye. So, that's all you guys have to know, that Courtney was just eliminated. So, yeah, she was out and definitely out. Anyway, next person that's going to get eliminated is a double elimination. So, yeah, we're going to pretty much explain about the third and fourth that we're going to get to. So, let's get right along with it. So, here we go. Next person is Gwen. That is also going to be eliminated anyway. And then also, of course, Scott as well, which that makes it double threes, or should I say double twos, to be eliminated by saying who goes home anyway. So, anyway, yeah. Well, at least we got a few people to go exactly. I mean, no surprise out of this one. So I gotta say, well, me talking about Gwen. Okay, well, yeah, where did this all go wrong this time in season five's Gwen? Yeah, it went terrible. A lot more terrible as I expect. I mean, seriously, I don't know why that Gwen has to literally be the only person to think that she would actually just like says, oh, we're done. I mean, seriously, come on. Just because myself as Duncan's always obsessed with Courtney doesn't mean that you have to think it was a little bit more rough in your own behalf. I mean, after all, seriously, you'd be lucky that you only have like two obsessive ones, that is Trent and Duncan. Which, seriously, I just never liked Trent at the first place. Which, I just never liked him. It's just because I never liked him. Just only in season two. But in season one, he was just at a different, fine, just at his own different part. But just until I figured a little bit more detail on that guy, oh yeah, I figured a lot more. Just about and almost enough about a season two, or near at a different pace of the aftermath, which I really have to say, pretty much disrespectful part of his own attitude. So let's not continue about the Trent idea with that, but we're moving right along to Gwen anyway. So yeah, about this entire reason that Gwen didn't do a good job during almost in the final four was because due to the fact that she literally kind of messed the entire thing up. And you guys want to know why it kind of messed up? One, the only thing that was messed up exactly was because she, on the other hand, was being tricked by Mao, which she could have avoided most likely to avoid Mao, or slash again, Mike, because as I said from the very top, fully from the beginning, from most likely, certainly from the beginning, is that Mao is just in the world of trouble. Did I just warn them? No, I didn't warn them because I knew what that whistle was about. Because, seriously, I never heard Mao even talk before even Mike was going to be the one to know that one. But seriously, I was literally going to figure that out anyway. But how to even get rid of Mao. But nope, he was the one to continue the game and just throw out everyone else out. Like, of course, that would have been something more obvious. Isn't it obvious? It is obvious. So anyway, just want to let you guys know is that yeah, Gwen was in fourth place and she was eliminated because due to the fact that she, on the other hand, was also in the chopping block along with Scott. Which for me, I'll talk about Scott. I'll talk about him right now. So anyway, first of all, to say is that yeah, Gwen, you should have really, 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 really would have listened to me, and pretty much like again, like you and Courtney should have rather listened to me because at this very point, I knew that Mao was to no good. Seriously, I don't know why they had to ignore me, but seriously, it's just so stupidly pathetic. It's just so dumb to the fact that we're seen as that Mao would have been more closer for him to reach to the million slash Mike, which I knew he's a threat because I know by my own very own eyes. Seriously, I do not know why that was destroyed. Had to be no way of a reason to tell, but it's just that point. It's just been ignored. I don't know how, but it just really was. So anyway, we're gonna head on to Scott and see how his elimination went. Even if Gwen was already out, then yeah, she was totally out because seriously, she needs a vacation. Gwen needs a vacation. Hello, Gwen was already pretty much being done anyway during like almost a few other times, like almost like 4 seasons anyway. But yeah, Gwen kind of deserved a break. And after all, in the season, I know she's always the one that says like, oh, I'm going to be in the season. I'm still going to be in the season a lot more to keep on winning that $1,000,000. Well, as I said, it wouldn't be palm trees to an apple tree. But as I said, I wouldn't blame anybody for that. So again, Gwen deserves to have a break anyway because, yeah, she needs a break. So anyway, let's get on to Mr. Scott. Says, "Oh, I'm with Courtney. Oh my gosh, Scott and Courtney, la la la." We're gonna get to Scott anyway for number 3. So let's get into him anyway. Okay, so about Scott. Okay, so let me explain about what we have for Scott. That's number 3. So anyway, for Scott, by the way, oh yeah, so I have actually did heard of something that Mal and Scott, on the other hand, were on a pirate ship or something. That they were on a pirate ship because the reason why that pretty much with him exactly that due to the fact that Scott was also eliminated too. I mean, it still makes it more a bit of an interesting fact that Scott was the only one that was still was remaining exactly. Like he was the only person left to either reach the final 2. But I'm that quite damning surprised that he would have been this close to be even, that close to being almost the only person to win. But yeah, he kind of lost anyway. And to the fact that he was also getting kicked by Mao, or should I say, was Thane was chasing him, which I mean, technically be that hilarious again with Thing the shark, which I mean, best strong suit I ever seen right there from Thing, which I give him based. I mean, pretty based for Thing. I mean, based. I mean, it's lucky that the shark doesn't chase me anyway, because it's lucky that I don't get chased by a shark. I mean, it's always Scott to get chased by a shark. I mean, what a pathetic fool. Seriously, what a pathetic fool that gets chased by a shark named Thing. I mean, Thing. You expect me to think that was kind of a bit more at least ironic. It was more ironic with Thing chasing him. It was so ironic. When I say it's ironic, oh yeah, it will be ironic. Very ironic. So anyway, yeah. So basically, Scott was totally eliminated because he was absolutely eliminated due to the fact that he, on the other hand, was also losing the challenge because due to the fact that him and Mao had a temporary alliance or something, which I don't know how that was going to be involved. But again, just whenever I'm making guesses, I mean, correct me if I was wrong or right, if I was making corrections carefully. But if not, that's all I'm saying is I'm very carefully with some other reasons to be for me to say so, which I do say how many times I say that I do have the right about me like criticizing some characters that didn't do so well, and I do not have some criticizing if some characters were not that bad. But the only thing I were saying to be right now is that Scott, oh yeah, he pretty much deserved to be in the 3rd place of a chopping block, which I know he deserved it anyway, but as I said, he gets a bronze place or something, or gets bronze. So anyway, he's out and done. So anyway, yep, bye bye Scott, and he is also gone. So the final 2 we have is Mike slash Mal versus Zoey. So for the only ticket who am I actually picking, by the way, in this final fight is that yeah, I'm picking Zoey. Yeah, Zoey, I'm actually voting for Zoey. So you guys are gonna hear a bit of a different explanation of me talking about like different alternatives between wheel versus alternatives. So let's get to the big finals and see who's gonna win this one. So let's get to it. Alright, so anyways, just as in for the record straight everybody, just to give you guys a bit of a reminder by the way about Mal and pretty much slash Mike, and also just to let you guys know all of Mike's other counterparts are still in the exact same episode of same as episode I mean the same episodes of season 5, which to be technically pretty much the same. I think Mike's and counterparts remain to be the same. And then, of course, that Mao is pretty much more different, but more pretty much fast and unstoppable anyway. But just as in for now, that yeah, considering the fact that yeah, bye bye to Mao, since he was defeated by Mike, which that's pretty bit better because all I said again is that well, who pretty much won the alternative was pretty much Mike. Yeah, I think Mike was the one who won the alternative winner since he, on the other hand, was pretty much the only one to win the alternative winner. So yeah, that's a good exact reason that yeah, he actually considered a lose. Which I mean, even though if it's more like a couples thing again, which I know technically it was more like from like a little bit more recognizable from season 3 or 5, which it's kind of a little close to at that one, but not as far as predictable as close as that one was. But it's more of season 5 like. But anyway, all I have to say is that, well, Mike actually won the alternative winner, so Mike was actually the alternative winner. So he kind of won in All Stars for pretty much technically being like the only one to win All Stars. So yeah, that's all he had to do was pretty much win. So at this very point, that yeah, Mao actually on the other hand was the winner of. I mean, not Mao. I mean, Mike was the winner of the alternative winner of the aftermath version. So Mike was actually the winner of that one. So yeah. I mean, I don't pretty much don't care for any reason to pretty much either side with pretty much with the people I never liked exactly, but it's only the only other people I did like exactly. Oh yeah, I'll rather side with those people anytime. But just for the straight up record, is that Mao was defeated by Mike. Of course, that'd be a one-on-one, which I'd have to say that was quite surprising actually to see what it would have been absolutely like to see how long that fight was going to turn out. But until Mike said that one, he didn't need him anymore, which, oh damn, he shocked him out of nowhere. But yeah, goodbye, Mao. You're the one who was a big double crossing liar because seriously, who would want a double liar like that? Who want a double liar like that? Which I don't know why I said like 3 times about me saying like that Mao's a double liar, but oh, that's a good joke. Really good joke of me doing that. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, let's get on to the next one about Mike. I'm still going to talk about Mike, but I think I was only concerned talking about Mao for a few other times. So yeah. All right. So anyway, as if you guys can still know why that Mike was the alternative winner, is because well, he won because like as I said before, there could be only one winner or two winners actually for being that. Pretty much, to be honest, that Mike was only the alternative winner because he was like the alternative winner to be in second and then first. So technically, he was the one being in second. But anyway, that's pretty much all of that of the alternative winners. So as you guys can see that, yeah, pretty much like, I don't know how Mike or Mao are technically both the same, but maybe the hair and maybe the same face, same shirt. But as I can really understand to tell that, yeah, it's a little bit more understandable as I actually know before I could actually would have realized that. But as I said before, yeah, I never liked Mike pretty much in season 5 only. Did he have a bit of a problem in season 5? Technically, and did he have a bit of a problem in season 4? Yes, a little bit, but as I said, not as much of annoying, but sometimes less so annoying, as I actually would understand how much that can go. But whenever I say something is like, oh heck no, then I say, oh heck no. But if I say, okay then I say, okay then. But anyway, that's just me explaining about Mike at this point. But let's get to the real winner. The real winners of season 5, which I mean, is it Zoey? Oh, absolutely. Let's get right to her right now. So let's do it. All right, everybody. So here it is, everyone. The last contestant left to be in first place. First place we have is Zoey. She wins Total Drama All Stars, which I mean, isn't a pretty bit of a shocking to anybody. I think I have to say Zoey was always been the almost the chosen one since like she was clearly to be the chosen one. After all, she was the one who made it that far, but I could really expected that she was been like a kind of person, which I could really expect that she was kind of a kind person, which I could say at heart, by the way. I mean, I was right after all because seriously, I was right. I mean, Mao was the one who was behind everything else. Seriously, he was the one who tried to like knock almost out of anybody else in a way, exactly for pretty much like including the side of good or nor evil exactly. Which at this point, yeah, I voted for Zoey. So what? I actually picked Zoey because I knew she was going to win this one. Because I mean, it was not a bit of a shocker, but it was at least something rewarding that Zoey was pretty close to actually knock out Mao in the pond of the water. But I could say something much more better that Zoey had good amount of credibility and had amount of a good ability to win. As I do say that she won pretty fairly and won the season. So yeah, it gives my whole respect for Zoey that she won Total Drama All Stars of season 5. Now, as in for pretty much out of everyone in those balloons, yeah, that one was a no good thing. It was a bad thing, really bad. I mean, I couldn't really tell who were those in those balloons. I really couldn't tell who were those in the balloons, but if they had to fly up there, well, they're pretty much going to be dead in their own death, which I mean, for me, I really don't know. I was pretty much not in that balloon, so yeah, good thing I wasn't in that balloon because good. Unlike some of the people would actually rather forfeit the ticket for the balloon in that thing, but good. I hope I wasn't in that balloon because if I did, yeah, it's still been the end of it. So good. I mean, technically, good. So anyway, as I said one more time, everybody, that Zoey is the true winner, and oh, I mean the real winner of Total Drama All Stars. Which, yep, she is the true winner of All Stars. So it tells me that she won fairly, and she won the game absolutely pretty well, as I would have highly expected. But she is the winner once again. She wins. Now, anyway, well, for me, I'm just gonna pretty much say a few more words before we also get going for me to explain the entire thing about not of anything else. So, anyway, just halfway, almost finishing up with the video. But anyway, yeah. So give me a second. All right, everybody. So there you have it. All the contestants finished. The only contestants that were finished exactly was pretty much the only ones who were finished was pretty much like Lindsay, Lightning, Joe, and yeah. So it's Lindsay, Lightning, Joe, Sam, Heather, Sierra, me, Cameron, Alejandro, Courtney, Gwen, Scott, and Mike and Zoey. So yes, those people. Oh yeah, I counted a lot of those people, and I have to say that was one heck of a season of number 5. But to me, by the way, so about me saying I like considering about a bit amount of Zoey is that, well, I have to say Zoey is a truth at heart. By the way, she's pretty much the nicest person that she was ever been on. Which, I mean, not gonna lie about Zoey's character, but oh yeah, she makes it a good cameo, a little bit more of expected, but still good. I mean, even though she still has like a thing from Mike, which, I mean, that's technically fine and all, but I mean, again, that's fair. I could really say that's fair that I can say that I consider Zoe as a friend. Not more likely to say that we're friends or anything, but I'm just saying that she was more likely to be an ally, to more likely to know what's going on exactly about me explain about her, about Mal. Because Mal, on the other hand, is just like I said before, every parts of the time, which you guys are going to keep on hearing me say all the yada yada, which I know that, which I totally understand. So please, like I said again, if you guys are going to keep hearing it, then just keep on hearing it before it stops at the end. So right now, everybody, is I hope you guys really do consider enjoying this video. Be sure to give this one a like, comment, subscribe to the bell, be notified. And how many times did I hate Toll Drum All Stars? Yeah, I'm going to give it like a 2 out of 10. Sorry, a 2 out of 10. I mean, 2 out of 10 is a way better concept. I mean, it's way better for me adding 1 out of 10 because I'm saying I'm giving it 2 out of 10 because the whole entire show and the whole episodes of it is just a bad, bad, bad season. The most bad season, disgusting season of number 5 had ever been yet historied. So yeah, it's more likely called the stupidest stars, not all stars. What I'm saying is, like, I really considered saying is that why do I think this season was kind of a bit bad? Only a 5. Only 5. That sucked. So, anyway, there you have it, everyone. That's when I got to say is like all the other characters that were pretty much been talked on was just pretty much about Lindsay, Lightning, Joe, and yeah, at this point I'm gonna just say the names anyway. So for right now, I'm going to count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and 14. There was like literally 14 people. 14! Which I know that Mal counts himself as 15, but pretty much again, yep, that's a big surprise. I mean, there was like 14 players. Like 14. I mean, consider the fact that was like happening like last season of number 4, but technically it almost did sound like that, but okay. I mean, okie dokie. But for now, I gotta say is that what I said before, season 5 is just very bad. So just remember, even though I hated season 5, I mean, it's just about the characters that weren't doing that good. Because most of the characters I do say that okay are with, but if some of them were bad, then yeah, just let me do all the business talk. Because all for right now I'm saying is that some of them are just really bad. Some of them. In their own kind of part of their way, exactly, which shouldn't have not continued, but if it did, then that's what it was the big problem with an issue. So, as in for more likely to be understanding, is thank you all very much for watching. My name is Devin-Foxy Remastered, and I just thought I wanted to come on by and talk about like one more last thing of total drama, and that was it. So remember, when I say this is it, then this is it, okay? No more. Just no more. Even if some of that's been mentioned already, then don't keep asking. Okay, just don't keep asking me to be requested by me saying it's like, oh, you got to talk on some other episodes and yada yada yada. You got to do more guessing. No, just let me say no, okay? Just say no. That's it. I'm saying no. I'm not saying yes anymore. Because, like I said, even if Duncan's already going, then yes, it's already the end of the journey. Done, through, and over. I mean, 1 through 5, that's finished, okay? That's finished. No more other numbers that's higher than anything than 1 through 5. That's it. So, anyway, without that being said, everybody, that I, myself, and Duncan, I mean, not, sorry, it's just that I always don't want to talk too fast. But anyway, with that being said, is that I am Devin-Foxy remastered here, and I'll pretty much see you all again in the next time. So remember to like, comment, subscribe to the bell, be notified. And this is definitely the last, and I mean the very last journey of Total Drama, of pretty much Total Drama All Stars. So anyway, thank you everybody. I wish you guys a very great, remorseful, amazing day. I really hope you guys enjoy it. So remember, if you guys actually have your parts of your own opinions about season 5, say is like, if you think the season 5 is good to you, then hey, I mean, keep it to yourself. I don't want to be the one that has to be debunking those questions. So just remember, again, it only comes from you guys if you guys like season 5. But if you guys don't like season 5, good. Then give it a thumbs up then, because I never liked it anyway either. So, with that being said, Devin-Foxy remastered here, and I thought I just want to come on by and just make something just for one more last time before I moved somewhere else, by the way, to move right along. I'm just gonna say is like, let's just say it just comes to a finish, a big finish of a stop. So just remember, finished, final, and permanent. So remember, with that being said, see you guys again next time. And like I said, Total Drama All Stars remains to get a 2 out of a 10. So remember, 2 out of 10. I just didn't like the show because everything was the problem with season 5. Except my boy Duncan, no. He's good. He's already good in my book anyway, still. Even if he was still obsessive, which I don't blame him being obsessive, I mean, it's just a different fact of me saying is I don't blame him being obsessive, but saying is like, oh, he was being obsessive with Courtney again, and then being obsessed with Gwen. I mean, dude, just give him some time. I mean, I know he's going through a lot of things. I get it. I mean, if I were in my own shoes, by the way, to help out Duncan, I mean, I would have rather helped him anyway. I mean, if I were to be in his shoes, if I were to be in his shoes, I would have pretty much would have like, would have think something else and would have think coming back on back and back, just pretty much like giving Courtney a favor and then just like doing some other things like yada yada chap chap chap, all that talking and stuff, and then afterwards again, then just come right back on with Gwen, and then that's just pretty much final. But if I were to say that, then that would have been that. But with that being said, I myself am Devin-Foxy remastered, and I'll pretty much see you next time. One more last time, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. Thank you. Anyway, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey of Total Drama. I want to say is thank you for watching the grateful memories of Total Drama forever. Even like I said again, most people can still watch it. Like, I'm not doing like on recording of it. I'm just going to do off recording. So just remember, off recording's better because I prefer that. Like it says, like, again, that I'm not recording anything. So just remember, I'm not doing that. That's final and that's done. So, anyway, with that being said, I, Devin-Foxy remastered, will see you next time. Peace out, everyone. See you next time. And bye bye, everybody. Signing on out. Thank you and have a great day.